So, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are one of the most unstoppable teams in all of the WNBA. And it's not just entirely about the personnel, it is the how. It's not the why, it's the how. Like, it's not just that these players are good. It is how they're good. It is how they are scoring. It is a lot of, again, just the way that this team's playing. And before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 27 point... We're not going to hit 27.5k by the end of the day, but if we could somehow hit 27.5k by the end of the day, that would be absolutely insane. Like, our goal is like 35k or so by the end of the WNBA season, but you never know. You never know. But, yeah. This is what the Mercury coach... And look, Nate Tibbits is the highest paid coach in WNBA. He is one of the best coaches in the WNBA, and this is what he has said about this Fever team. I just realized I muted.
Obviously, Caitlin coming off pick and roll, you have a choice to be up or back. When you're back, if there's a clean screen, she's going to come off and get a three. And then when you're up, she's going to find the roll, and more than likely they're going to get a three on the backside if you pull in. So they put you in a ton of difficult situations with their offense and talent.
And he's on the money. He's basically, like, I've made plenty of videos about this, and, like, as far as, like, X's and O's and basketball, look, coaching is more than just knowing who or knowing plays. Coaching is, a lot of it is to do with player management. A lot of coaching is to do with, like, other things that aren't necessarily seen. But as far as the X's and O's go, and as far as I've always said, fate of the universe on the line, if you need a junk zone to get you through a game, I want Nate Tibbits. There's no man that knows more junk zones than Nate Tibbits. But we're now at the stage where the way the Indiana Fever play, you can no longer, and it's what we were saying from the start. If you want to look at I think if you look at this channel, there is a breakdown video that I made early on in the year, like early on in the year, where I'm in Leeds and I'm basically just ranting about what the Fever have done. And my biggest point was, you can't read. Can you search earliest anymore on YouTube? Yeah. But, like, my biggest point of it all was talking about how they couldn't, like, in 4-on-3 situations, they really, really struggled. Like, I'm here ranting in a freaking Ibis hotel in Leeds, and the purpose of this video, their entire team's slow, Caitlin's 2 or 3, and they can't get open, coach is clueless. And the whole thing was about how she is drawing double teams off every pick and roll, and there is no sets, no up-ball movements, no cuts to take advantage of that. And now, Caitlin's getting better at reading blitzes. Teams can't blitz as hard because she's getting better at hitting the roller. Aaliyah Boston is the best passing big in the WNBA. So if she gets it and there's an extra player there, she stopped trying to go up through 3 players. She'll kick to the far corner, and they trust the shooters. As said in the what was it, fake song short on this channel, if you want to look at shorts, you can leave the last song. If you double either Caitlin Clark or Aaliyah Boston, you leave Kelsey Mitchell. And they become nearly impossible to guard. The way that you guard this team is by praying that the rest of the team goes 0 for 20. Like, the only way you can beat this team is the way like this. The only way you can stop them is what happened against... they didn't even stop them, necessarily. But I was going to say, you can beat them by doing what the Dallas Wings did. And not missing. That kind of helped. But if you watch that game where they put up 101 points, and you want to look at the rest of the team, Katie Lou 1 of 6, Nalissa Smith, this is the fakest 5-12 game. She was terrible. Kelsey Mitchell 6 of 10 at 13. But if you look at the rest of the team, like Lexi Hull 2 of 6, Katie Lou 1 of 6. They left Katie Lou and they left Lexi Hull open. They left them open. So that's when you have the 19 assist game and a career high for Leah Boston, you lose. Like, you have to leave somebody open. And teams, with the way they're rotating, are so focused on Caitlin Clark that they're leaving players open. And now, with how well Leah Boston's playing, they have to be so focused on Leah Boston. Now they're going to have to be starting to focus on Kelsey Mitchell. And it's harder to guard Kelsey Mitchell because she's just so faster than you. It's harder to put that focus on a player when that player is just faster than you. So, they should be the best offensive team. Like, within the next year, the Fever should be the best offensive team in the WNBA. That's a fact. There is no excuses for them to not be the best offensive team. And from day one, there was no excuses when you have a player drawing double teams every single time they come off a screen. If a player draws a double team every single time they're off the screen, a pro basketball team should be able to, especially because teams can't rotate in the WNBA like they do in the NBA, a team should be able to get an open shot in every possession. But, yeah, that's pretty much the story with the Fever, is that their defense has been not great, even since the break. I thought they played decent enough defense at times against the Storm. I keep mixing up teams' names. I was about to call them the Supersonics. They looked okay at times against the Storm, but on defense. But they were not good defensively whatsoever against the Mercury. They literally just left the Mercury open and prayed they missed. They left the Dallas Wings open, prayed they missed, and they hit shots. When they beat the Liberty, they left them open and prayed they missed. So this is still a bad defensive team. As good as Lexi Hull is, as much as anything, she's not a lockdown defender, but she is like one of those Pat Bev type defenders that will draw a couple of charges, will get in your head, will make things tough for you for a few possessions. And then we saw, like, at times over the course of the game, Kat Copper can break her down. But you need players like that in your team. It's just, if they only had a Benai Delaney type defender on the team who is just a little just better at stopping someone, but at the same time, look, Lexi Hull's a good defender and just an all-around good player. But it's the defense that's now the problem with the Fever. Like, the Fever on any can put up 60.5 like that. There's no team that can score as much as quickly as the Fever, and that includes the Liberty. And the problem is that it's pick your poison. For other teams, it is pick your poison with this team. You have to either choose to leave Caitlin Clark open, which no team's ever going to do, leave Aaliyah Boston wide open for a layup, or rotate off Kelsey Mitchell. And if you don't do, if, like, you guard all of them, well, then you've got a weak side situation where you've given Alyssa Smith a layup a lot of times, which no one wants to do either. Your only hope is to leave Katie Lou and Lexi Hull standing wide open in the corner and missing shots. And Katie Lou is still too dangerous a shooter to do that. And Lexi Hull cuts well enough, so a lot of the time, she's going to get some layups off that. So, I don't know how you guard them. Like, if the king of junk zones, Nate Tibbits, has no idea, then I think a lot of teams have no idea how to guard this team.